Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the woods behind the Knife Center. And today we're looking at a classic pattern from LT Wright knives, the recently reintroduced Trekker. Let's check it out. So for those of you that know the history of LT Wright knives, before that company was formed, LT was actually one half of Blind Horse knives. But this design actually predates those Blind Horse days. This is a knife that LT designed to be his go-to hunting big game knife. Whether he was heading out just for an afternoon hunt or heading out on horseback into Wyoming for up to a week, he wanted a larger knife that could get all of his big jobs done. If you just take a quick glance at this knife, it does bear a little bit of resemblance to the LT Wright GNS knife, but there are a few differences. The handle shape, of course, is very similar from the profile, but it's a bit more streamlined from the top. It's a nice roomy grip. My hands fit very well, and I tend to wear a size large work glove. But the thing that makes this knife extra capable is a blade length that's about 4 3/4 of an inch, so larger than their classic GNS or Genesis models. We also get a little bit more belly here at the tip, as well as a full flat grind, which is going to make this a little more versatile than a Scandi grind, which might be good for just bushcraft stuff. Whereas this knife can handle anything from hunting and skinning, food prep, as well as some wood processing, bushcraft, and woodcraft. The steel on these knives are AEB-L stainless, which is a Swedish steel with a very fine grain structure. You do get a very high edge stability thanks to that grain structure. It also allows it to take a wickedly fine edge very easily, and yet it still holds that edge very well. You also get a very high degree of toughness from this blade as well. Even though it's only 1/8 of an inch thick, this is extremely durable and can be even used to split wood if you need it to. Of course, being a stainless steel, you're not going to have to worry as much about corrosion, but it doesn't feel like a stainless steel when you're sharpening or using it. I've said a number of times that this really is the stainless steel you want if you are a carbon steel fanatic, and in some testing scenarios, this steel actually compares very favorably to 52-100 in terms of its performance, and that tells you all you need to know about it right there. Going back to the handles a little bit, they definitely have the strength and stability to back up that phenomenal blade. You can see it secured here by a couple of fisheye bolts, but that's just the mechanical attachment. They also use a high-strength 2-ton epoxy, which really melds those scales onto the tang of the knife. It means they're not going anywhere, and even if they did, the lifetime warranty, they'll be able to take care of that for you. We've got a few different handle options available right now. This one is the green micarta with orange liners. And we really like micarta as a handle material for an outdoors knife because not only does it feel good, it also looks nice and natural. It doesn't look like a super synthetic material. And then once it is wet, it actually feels a little bit grippier in use. It's not going to get slick like some other handle materials might. Not only do they grip well, but the contours are very nice. All these knives are made by hand, and they contour these over perfectly so that there's no hot spots. Another handle option that we've got right now, if you want a little bit more grip than the standard smooth micarta, is a mountain finish natural canvas version. This knife has a hand scalloped finish, which does add some grip, but you don't have to worry too much about those hot spots. It may look a little more aggressive, but it actually feels quite good, and it's not so aggressive that it is going to pinch or blister your hand. If you want one that's a little bit more fancy, this is my personal favorite of the batch we've got, and this is the version with maple paper Richlight handles. As a material, this Richlight is very similar to paper micarta, which allows it to take a very nice matte finish that looks really good, and it's contrasted very nicely by these thick natural micarta liners. Of course, no outdoors knife is going to be complete without a good sheath system, and this nice leather sheath is made by JRE Industries for LT Wright knives. Features a very thick 8-ounce leather, dyed brown, with a pouch-style friction fit. Carries the knife nice and deep, and especially once it's broken in, it's going to fit even better, and you're not going to have to worry about that falling out. We've got a fire steel attachment here on the side, which will accommodate a 3/8 inch ferro rod. That means you have everything you need to take with you and start your fires. And you don't even need to carry a scraper with these knives, because the spine of these knives do offer a crisp 90-degree edge, so that you can take that along your ferro rod and shower sparks with no problem. There's also 2 ways to carry this knife. It does come with a dangler attachment, which allows you to thread your belt through here. And that's especially helpful when you're carrying a pack with a wide hip belt, or if you're carrying it in cold weather and you're wearing a longer coat. This helps it to hang lower so you can still access your knife easily. But if you prefer your knife to ride a little bit higher, You can remove that dangler, or you can simply fold it underneath, because that included loop is large enough to accommodate very large belts still. Whether you like a thin canvas belt or a heavy-duty gun belt, you're going to be able to fit that no problem. So it's clear that this Trekker from LT Wright Knives has performance to spare, but what really makes it special is some of the history behind this knife. As I said, this design does predate the Blind Horse Knives days, and it goes all the way back to the early years of LT Wright's knife-making career. Originally, these were very rare. He only made about 20 of these back in the day, but they've always been kicking around as something that's very popular and sought after, often commanding really high prices on the used market. Last year, LT decided to dig this knife out of the vaults and bring a limited edition run back just for the Pout House members. And if you don't know the Pout House, that's LT Wright's private forum that you can find from their website. And originally, this could only be gotten if you were a member of the Pout House. But now we're happy to be able to bring a selection of these to the wider market, because this is a design that we think deserves to see the light of day, and everyone needs to have one. So whether you're looking for a big game hunting knife or just an all-around great outdoors and survival knife, these Trekkers are sure to fit the bill. If you like what you see here and want to get your hands on one, click the link in the description below to head over to KnifeCenter.com.